Hello there, and good afternoon. It is Peggy McColl, and we are here for another live event. All right, perfect. Okay, well, my dinner guests just confirmed, so I'm excited about that. And it might seem a little funny to be talking about dinner guests because I've been working my little butt off today. It's been a fabulous Friday. And, oh, hang on here a second. Yeah, how about that? How about that? Okay, good stuff. It's been a fabulous Friday, and I've been enjoying the on a call. There we go. Let's call her later. There we go. Wonderful day today. It's so good to be with you again. I have been on appointments pretty much all day long. I've been busier than I've ever been. And today we're going to talk about you, and we're going to talk about increasing your productivity levels, and of course, how you can maximize this time that you now have at home, if you're home more now than you've been before, which many people are. And it may or may not have changed anything in your life with what's been going on in the world, or it may have. And I suspect it probably has made some changes in your life. I know for a lot of parents, their children are home, either daycares are closed or schools are closed or offices are closed or businesses are closed. There's a number of different things going on. The reason why I said it hasn't changed what I'm doing during the day is because I work from home, and I've been working from home for many, many years. And so I established patterns of behavior, hi Beate, that have really been in alignment with being home on a regular basis. And so I want to talk a little bit more about that, and also about opportunities. I mean, I love talking about opportunities and really managing your mental space right now as well. What's going on in here in your heart, with what you're feeling right now. I know a lot of people are really feeling the energetic shift that's going on in the world. And what I really see us doing here, me and my team, Celine, Eric, Sabrina, Kayla, and Trace, is that we're here to have that energy shift be a positive one in whatever way, and in any way, and in every way that we possibly can. So if there's anything that you're looking as far as topics that you would love to have covered, or when any of these live events that we're doing on YouTube, on Instagram, or Facebook, please let us know. We've been doing topics that are really consistent with the needs that are out there in the market right now, in the world right now, with the challenges that people are going through right now. So if there is something specific, then you can let us know, let Celine know. You can type it in the chat box. We're monitoring all of that right now. You can send a message to my support team, which is support@peggymccall.com. And we'll get those emails and we'll respond. So give you a little heads up. Next week, we're starting something that was an idea that I was inspired with. And the idea is something called the Go Now series. And it's really what to do now, like in these times, in this day and age. Like, what can you be doing now that can really make a positive impact in your life and in other people's lives, your family lives, etc. So watch for that. I just finished a meeting with Eric, who's on our team, who I really love and appreciate, but not as much as Celine does, because that's her significant other. And Eric and I were on the phone discussing getting everything ready. Hi, Natalie. And we're talking about the topics that we're going to be covering off next week in our Go Now series. And we're going to talk about a number of different things. You'll see. We'll announce it on Monday. But how will you see? You've got to be a part of our manifestation family on Facebook if you're not already, or a subscriber to my email list. And all that's required is you can subscribe to my free videos, or you could subscribe to the Manifestation Toolbox, or you can subscribe to the Manifestation Podcast. All of that is free. And we can give you those links. You can go right to peggymccall.com and you can sign up there as well. But the reason I want to really encourage you, if you're not already a subscriber, is when you get subscribed, we have a tendency to keep you guys updated on all these different events that we're doing and the freebies that we're doing, because we're really here to serve you. And Thanks, Natalie. I hope Celine saw that message. That was very sweet. What Natalie wrote to you, Celine, is a lovely message right there on Instagram. And so in the last couple of weeks, with the changes that have been going on in the world, I have found that my productivity has definitely increased. And the reason why it's increased is because I'm consciously aware of being of service. And I really feel now it's more important than ever that I'm here to serve people, serve you, and help people just see things a little differently, because our paradigms are really the thing that's controlling what we're seeing as far as opportunities, or whether we're not seeing those opportunities. And I think a lot of people feel that because of what's going on in the world, that their dreams need to go on a back burner. And that's not true. As a matter of fact, it's the furthest thing from the truth. Your dreams need to be front and center, and you focusing on them and you feeling as if they're already there. So as far as what you can be doing that's more productive in the home, is to get behind your purpose. Like if you know what your purpose is, and when Celine and I were talking a little earlier, she did an interview with me today, which you'll hear about and you'll receive. It'll be one of our podcast episodes. And she was telling me that one of the questions that she has on her board, she has a whiteboard that's right behind where her computer is. And it said something like, how can I exceed expectations? Like, how can I deliver more than what's expected of me? And that is the way that woman lives her life. Celine is extraordinary. And she's always doing that, always surprising us. Like I'll get a message at 7 a.m. Well, it might not be 7 a.m. because that's 5 a.m. her time. But anyways, I'll get a message early morning, late at night, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. It does not normal business hours. And she's got an idea or a suggestion or a way to really enhance. And the whole idea behind doing that interview was her idea as well. And so and the reason why that is tagged, and I'm talking about that as it relates to productivity, is that I find that when you are really aware of what your purpose is here on earth, and you've made a decision that you're going to, line up to that purpose and really deliver on that purpose, wonderful things can happen in your life, wonderful things, extraordinary things. And I just feel so strongly about what I've been called to do here in the world that that's why I ask you. Like I can assume what you need, and I'm designing my day around building those tools and those resources, and I'm busier than I've ever been because I think it's important to really move into action fast. And so you can start thinking about how you can maybe even educate yourself a little bit more or a lot more, inspire yourself more, maybe sit down and make a decision. I'm going to really sit down and figure out, what do I think my purpose is, right? And just think, and there's no right or wrong answer to that, by the way. It's whatever you believe it to be. What would you love? What would you love for your life to mean? What's the meaning of your life? Why do you think you're here? And connect that to your passion as well. So in the 90s, I came up with my sort of purpose statement or vision statement, if you will, that says that I'm here to make a positive contribution to the lives of millions. And what's fascinating is that came about when I had been asked by one of my clients to run a workshop for a business that really wanted to get clarity around the business's purpose. And so I said yes to deliver that, because I was in the training business as well. And I was teaching so many different things. I was teaching goal achievement. I was teaching presentation techniques. I was teaching team building. I was teaching customer service. I was doing all these, some people call them soft skills kinds of training. And one of my clients said to me, we really want to have a clear vision or purpose statement for the business. Would you work with us, do a workshop with us and help us define that? I said yes, because I knew I could, even though I had never done it before. And so I did a lot of research and read materials and put it together, and I delivered it. And in the process of doing that, that's where I established my purpose. And so my business, I incorporated in 1994, is called Dynamic Destinies Inc. And the business's purpose is the same. So me and the business, we're one. We're all one. So my business is here to make a positive contribution to the lives of millions of people as well. So when you know that, and then everything that you could be doing during what you might call working hours can be all in alignment with that. So it could be something like how will I create services or products or projects or whatever that can really help elevate the energy in the world into a better place, a positive place. Or you've got something that is a passion of yours. Maybe it's organic gardening, and you'd love to perhaps create another source of income online. And you want to maybe to create a YouTube channel, or you want to do a podcast, or you want to do a blog, and you're thinking, well, not only do I want to do it, but I'd like to do it effectively so that I'm bringing something of value, and maybe at the same time, grow weed, says somebody on Instagram. Well, perhaps, I don't know what the legalities are of that, but that business is booming right now. And so, perhaps find a way to convert your passion into a revenue source, which is absolutely doable. And I was doing a couple of webinars recently, part of a Create Your Own Economy webinar series that we did. And Celine will put the links so you can watch them again if you missed them, really talking about that, how people came up with creative ideas of earning money and from something that they loved. And I've worked with so many people over the years. And I remember years ago working with a gentleman who had written his book. And of course, he came to me because he wanted to create greater success with his book. And he was telling me that he had been earning money from his podcast, and he was earning a lot of money from his podcast, and he wasn't selling anything of his own. He was recommending other people's stuff, other people's programs, other people's content, and he was earning money as an affiliate. That actually will be one of the things I'm going to talk about next week, is the affiliate opportunity, which is anybody can do. So if you're someone who is maybe not wanting to have a presence online or to be known as an expert, maybe even want to do it, somewhat not anonymously, but a little quieter, and maybe you're shy or whatever, then becoming an affiliate is definitely something that anybody and everybody can do. But just start really getting focused during your day on doing things that are productive, right? And scheduling these things in, and maybe get up earlier. Like if you're home now and you're used to getting up and getting in a car, and I love that, Ken, and going to work, but yet you're not doing that, and you don't start work till whatever, 8:30 or 9, but you're finding you've got a couple hours in the morning. Study, use that as study time. Get into my program, study my programs. We teach people how to earn money online. Get into $1 million in a month program, study that. You could start something in your spare time. But you'll find that when you are more productive, where you're doing things that are more in alignment with what you would love to create, that you're going to find that you'll just feel better. You'll feel better about yourself. You'll feel a little more optimistic about what's going on in the world. I read every day. And this morning I was reading from this particular book called The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. And I've read this book before. And so it's, reading it again, and on page 24, this is the version that has awakened imagination included in it. And so on page 24, Neville Goddard says, the great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. And there's so much in there, right? There's so much what he's saying in here. And even being in that state of, let's say you're listening to your Power Life script and you're really connecting to your dream life and you're feeling it as if it's here, that's a productive thing to do. I've already been listening to mine several times today. So you can be productive doing that. You can be productive, controlled imagination, right? What's controlled imagination? Where rather than just let your mind go anywhere and everywhere, which is really what a lot of people are doing right now. Maybe not so much you guys, but a lot of people in the world are. It's like their imaginations just left the building, and they're in this place of fear right now. And an opportunity is here for sure. There are many, many opportunities. So what would that look like? What would that smell like? What would that taste like? And maybe part of the controlled imagination is imagining how you would love to be living your life as well. And then he says, a well-sustained attention. A well-sustained attention. That's like that's what you're thinking about. That's only what you're thinking about, and that's what you're focused on. And that can also be your Power Life script. But really where the Power Life script comes in, firmly and repeatedly focused on the object of the accomplishment. And that's being productive as well. Like I know one of the reasons, and probably the number one reason why I'm not rattled with what's going on in the world right now, is because of my Power Life script. It really is. It's because that is what I've built as it's my vision of how I choose to live my life. It is the foundation for everything that I'm here for. And it cements it through the process of repetition, like hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. So even though, the world's changing and shifting and there's things going on in the world we've never had experienced in our life, I'm still focused with that very focused attention on still, doing the work that I'm doing more so now. I find a little bit more than ever, and of really, really connecting to my outcomes. So don't allow what's going on to derail your plans or to have you throw your goals out in the garbage, because they're worthy of you and your success is still guaranteed. It's not that it's left. Your success is still guaranteed. You can absolutely produce amazing results in this world. Now, we've had a number of how you react is your paradigm. Absolutely can. So we've had a number of questions that have come in, and I'm going to go to those next. I'm just going to find them over here. Thank you, Celine, for posting them. So what age did you find your purpose and that thoughts equal things? Okay, so two things, actually. I actually discovered that thoughts equal things when I was 19 years of age. That's when I first met Bob Proctor. But I didn't establish or determine my focus until I was in my 30s. And the only reason is I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't really thinking about it, right? So that's the reason why I haven't. Okay, so Natalie actually has a question here. I saw on Instagram. It says, my younger daughter hears my Power Life script when I play it in the car. I have a piece that is on her. If she can't speak autism, should I do one for her and let her listen? Sure, if she's open to that. I love that idea. Absolutely. Like my grandson hears mine all the time, because if he's in the car with grandma, it's playing, right? And I remember one time, and I've told this story before, that James was in my car. He's 8 right now, 8.5. And he was in my car one time and he said, Grandma, why do you always listen to that? And he didn't ask me, in a negative way. He was just curious. And I said, oh, did you want me to put the radio on? And he said, no, I'm curious. Why? And so I explained to him why I'm listening to it all the time, which made sense to him. He liked it. And he didn't want me to turn it off. He simply wanted to hear it. And he asked me if he could record one. And I said, sure. And so, excuse me, we recorded it on my phone, and he'll listen to it. Also, whenever he stays here at Grandma and Grandpa's, I'm always writing my gratitude journal every day. I write my gratitude journal first thing I do in the morning. And James likes coming and crawling in with grandma. So in the morning, first thing I pull up my gratitude journal, he asked me, he said, could I have a gratitude journal too at your house? And I said, sure, you can have one at your house too. So I have a gratitude journal in my night table right beside mine that belongs to James. And he does that as well. So it's absolutely a great idea to share this with your children and get them involved as well. All right. Thank you for asking that question. Corporate Ken says, what's your favorite book that inspires you? I love that question, Ken. Thank you so much for asking. I would say that it changes. My favorite book changes. It depends on what I'm studying at any one time. And right now, this is my favorite book, which is Feeling is the Secret from Neville Goddard. However, I've been rereading The Power of Awareness just within the last week. I'm reading a chapter a day with one of my accountability partners. And this has moved into my number one book. So, but it's both Neville Goddard, and I just love Neville Goddard and his material. Somebody I've studied, and I just love him. Yeah, too many good ones, says Amy. I get it. Okay, the next question is, what would you say to folks who want to take your programs to become an author, an entrepreneur, etc., but are afraid of failure or what their spouse, family, friends will think? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think you should be concerned about what anyone thinks. What I would do is I'd have the vision of seeing them have this wonderful smile on their face because you are successful. And there was a book that I read many years ago. It was a book that Bob Proctor recommended, and it's a book by an author by the name of Terry Cole Whitaker. And the book is called What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. And I think there's a really good message just in the title. It's sometimes you get the message just from the title, which what you think of me is none of my business. And the fact is that, if you don't try, you don't really give it a try, you just don't know. And it may be just course correction as you're going along. Think about Thomas Edison. How many times did he try and invent the incandescent light bulb? 10,000 times is what it's reported. And I'm not sure if that's the exact number or whatever, it doesn't matter. He was going to do it until it was done. And that was the point. And I believe that too. I have a client that I'm working with now who I've talked about before. And I just started working with her recently, and she's a private mentoring client. And she has built an online program based on something that she loves and just started to sell it. And she hired me as her mentor, private mentor. And so this morning we had a call together, and Trace came on, who's my business partner, and he's the real marketing brains behind everything that we're doing. And Trace got on the call with us, and we were really looking at what has she done to launch her program and get the sales, and what could she do to improve upon it. And so I think that, or I know that when you decide you're going to create another source of income or multiple sources of income, write a book, perhaps build your own online business or whatever, there's going to be there's going to be some work involved. And there's going to be a period of time before it really starts to convert. And you may have great success, bam, right out of the gate. But one of the things that we do in our business is, especially for $1 million a month clients, is we do these regular twice a month Q&A calls. So we get on these calls, and this has happened on a number of occasions. And of course, we record everything. So anyone that even joins our program now still has access to all the previously recorded calls. So we get on calls, and this has happened on a number of occasions where our clients will share with us what their funnels are, what they look like, or they'll ask for opinion on a title or a program name or whatever. And what's valuable about that is both Trace and I are on the call, so we give them feedback for improvement, but so are the other people in the program. Some of the other people, not everybody gets on the Q&A calls, but so are some of the other people from the program. So they get on, and they ask questions, and we address them, and then they hear, and take a look at what other people are doing. But then they want an opinion from one person, they could ask me. But if they want a consensus, so if they're thinking about a program name, let's say, or an offering name or a membership site or whatever, and they're wondering if it's a good name or not, then they can bring that forth and we can give them some suggestions. But the short answer is, don't be concerned about what anybody else thinks. I mean, the fact that you're actually even thinking of doing something, you're already light years ahead of where most people are, because it's in these times, these challenging times where most people are just wanting to stay in bed with the covers pulled up over their head. And I understand that. I understand that. Totally get that. That's not where I'm at. It's not where I be. And maybe I was 40 some odd years ago. I'm just so grateful that I've strengthened my own consciousness with these understandings, because it allows you to go through these challenging times that are going on in the world in a much more effective and productive way. And it's like Ken said, life is what you make of it. It's absolutely true, Ken. Life is what you make of it. And yeah, this is going to go on. There's always going to be some challenges going on in the world. And yes, this is unlike anything we've ever experienced in history, but you could be producing results unlike anything anyone's ever seen either. Yesterday, I saw something online. I'm not sure how it came to my attention, but it was about a billionaire who talked about what's the next trend for investments. Right now, if you're thinking limited and you're thinking fear, you're blinded to even any of these ideas, right? You've got to open up your consciousness and just invite in new ideas, because we're changing, right? Like when I think back to 1995, and I was home with my son, who was about 2 at the time, and I got a call from a headhunter, also known as a recruiter. And this headhunter called me, and she said, Peggy, I've got a job opportunity for you. And I said, oh, I wasn't really looking for a job at that time. I became a mom and just wanted to be home with my son. That's all I wanted to do, is to be home with my son. I discovered this new role in my life, which was the best thing I'd ever done, being a mom. That's all I wanted to do, 24/7. And but my husband at the time, Charles, he didn't want me to stay home, wanted me to get out and go to work, and we'll get a daycare for Michelle. So this job was to work in a company here in Ottawa that was going to be selling dedicated access to this thing called the World Wide Web. I didn't even know anything about it. Nobody knew anything about it. No one. I mean, it was just, well, I should say no one. There must have been a handful of people. And so I went for the interview and I got the job, and I was running their sales division. And it was fascinating because I just saw what the potential was for the World Wide Web. And a little later on, I ended up working for a .com company that was developing another really fascinating technology. I ended up being their vice president of corporate development. And this company was developing this technology where if you had a website online, that people would be able to see, like the employees would be able to see who's on the website, what page are they on, where did they come from, and then you could point or push a message to talk. It's called click to talk or point to talk. Nowadays, we see that everywhere, right? You go on a site, you're looking to purchase something, or you're wanting to book a flight or whatever, and it's like, hey, need any help kind of thing, like these little, online chat is all available. Well, that's what we were developing way back then, and it was way ahead of the technology. But the point is that I've always noticed lots of opportunities and trends and changes and things like that. And they're always going to be there. Like even in 2008, when we had the recession, I didn't even know what was going on, to be honest. I really didn't. Not watching the news, not paying attention, not looking at newspapers. And I was just going about my business, and my business, continued to grow and grow and grow, which it's done for 25 years. And I think that really comes down to what kind of attitude do you have? Like, how are you viewing the world right now? What are you seeing as far as your opportunities? Because there are opportunities for absolutely everyone, everywhere, but you've got to be aware of them. So one of the things, like a great place to start, is by really sitting down, and this is the Power Life Script process, like really sit down and think about what would I love? What would I love to create in my life? And really going through that process of establishing and really reconnecting to your dreams. And it's like, maybe you've done that before to some degree, but bring them back to life and find a way to give it the positive energy that it really deserves. Thank you. Hin's here. I'm so grateful to you too. I'm grateful that you found me. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, we're just a couple of minutes from the bottom of the hour. I just want to remind you again oh yeah, Jane's here. All right. She says, I'm taking time to work on my program. That's pretty awesome, Jane. I love that. And I know you're a very productive person as well. Yeah, it's a perfect time to clarify your vision, like really get clear on what do you want to do in this world. And Natalie says, I read a parable today and it was titled, This Too Will Pass. And the whole story explains that good times, bad times will happen. Your feelings will dictate what you're experiencing. It is absolutely true. Thank you so much for sharing that. I absolutely agree. And Hind, you're right. The Power Life Script is incredibly powerful. That'll also condition yourself to really connect to feel good feelings as well. Yeah. And Ken, well, maybe Ken says, my greatest challenge is knowing what I want. Well, sometimes we can create what we want based on what we know we don't want. So think about what you don't want, and that may spark. And just be open to the idea. I'm so happy. You could even start to declare, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm very clear on what I want or what I would love. And when you're in that vibration, when you're in that feeling state, the ideas of what you would love would definitely come to you. So give thanks that you already know what you would love. That's sometimes what people's challenge is that they continually declare that they don't know, or they continually declare that they're frustrated because they don't know. And that just creates the block. It's like it's there, but just let it go. It's like, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm very clear on what I would love to experience in my life. And just go from there. And it could be just one thing, small thing. And it's not something that people judge. It's just, what would you love? Right? I think mine's pretty simple. I have a wonderful life now. I'm so blessed in so many ways. And, but I definitely have goals for sure. I have goals for the business. And that's a big part of what I'm focusing on right now, is to be serving more and more people in the world. So thank you guys for being here. Watch for our announcement. Go to the Manifestation Toolbox for sure. Watch for our, Hind has a question. So Hind, before I wrap up, I was just about to wrap up. She says, how do you impress the feeling when you're doing affirmations? By acting as if. So it's like Neville said here in this quote, he said, controlled imagination. So controlled imagination is also invoking the feelings. And sometimes it's just getting a little quiet and going, well, how would I feel were that in my life? So if you think about money, right, which I know is a lot of challenges. So if you think about how would I feel were I earning now $1 million this month kind of thing, right? And then you really play with your imagination, controlled imagination. And then you allow those feelings to come up for you. That's how you do it. So it's an allowing experience. It's not a forced experience. It's an allowing. Allow it to flow. Allow it to come to you. And that's the way you do it. Easy peasy. All right. Hey, Terry, good to see you here. You're looking gorgeous. All right, everyone. Well, that's a wrap for today. And remember, we're going to do the Go Now series next week. So tune in. Would love to see you there. We'll let you know if you're a subscriber. As I mentioned, we will announce it on Monday. All right. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. I will see you next week. Bye for now.